Hi, welcome to another Consonant analysis. My analysis today is on the ongoing saga of R. Kelly, who I've previously done an analysis on, where he took part in an interview with Gayle Kelly. Now, in that analysis, I took the first statement that he made, and this is just a follow-on statement, and it doesn't disappoint. What I've done is I've actually colour-coded the extract so that the actual consonants I've taken out, you can actually see what words they actually correlate to, and I've put those in a highlight section at the top of the report. So I haven't concentrated overly on themes, and I'll let you read those at your leisure. The report, my report, by the way, is in a link in the description below. Yeah, so a basic summary of what I actually managed to pull from his from his statement, his second statement that I took, which was, I didn't go looking for Jocelyn Savage, because there was the whole backdrop to this to the interview, or the question that was asked was that he's been alleged by the parents of the two women that he's obviously has a relationship with, and who are stopping in hotel together, I believe. The allegation by their parents is that he's brainwashed them somehow, and he's obviously trying to justify his position and say no, that he's not. So he says, I didn't go looking for Jocelyn. That's Jocelyn Savage, one of these women. I was doing my show. He brought her and asked a friend of mine to put her on the stage with R. Kelly. So this is what R. Kelly said, to Gayle King, the interviewer. So in summary, basically, when you look at my report, what comes out is what he's saying is actually correct. He didn't go looking for it, but he was expecting somebody to. He was on the lookout, as my results show. He was on the lookout for somebody. In other words, he was anticipating that somebody may appear, and to go backstage, because presumably he was used to that type of thing. The fact that he was anticipating it, and it's just the case that when this woman was presented, this Jocelyn woman was presented, he wasn't disappointed with what he saw, with what was presented to him, and that's basically about the bones of it. If you go on to YouTube, and I'll put the link below, but there's a video on YouTube for an interview with Gayle King, now with Jocelyn and the other woman that R. Kelly has some involvement with, and both seem quite happy, well adjusted, and they're both defending him and saying they're fine with the situation. So that would bear out what's in the report. There are a few other nuances in the report, but obviously I'll let you read those at your leisure. I don't want to spoil things for you. I'll just pick out a few highlights. So, like, for example, I've got a point here about anticipation. So I've mentioned, he was anticipating somebody coming, and that occurs twice in the markers, highlighted in dark green and yellow. And what actually occurred, he saw like as a positive thing. I'll just go through the list, or blow by blow account of the points that I've taken from the markers and placed in the comments section. So, number one, there was prior planning based on the certainty of the events predicted to take place, in which liability would be purposely limited by a friend bringing a fan onto the stage, thereby shocking her and preventing blame from falling on the subject subsequently. So in other words, there was this thing in place. There was a feature in place where somebody would be brought onto the stage, and or somebody would be presented to R. Kelly, and obviously he would take it from there. So in this case, Jocelyn was actually brought onto the stage, and this would. And like I said, this would this would prevent blame from falling on R. Kelly. In other words, she's been brought onto the stage, so it's not down to him, basically, that happened. In essence, a planned event with a random fan involved. So the actual person wasn't worked out in advance. It just happened to be her, and obviously she happened to be the right person. Number 2, seeing the fan presented was matched with excitement, which was heightened by the influence exerted given the situation. In other words, he's got a lot of power because he's the person that everybody adores. So he's got like some street cred or some power with regards to any of his fans. 3, what was occurring was seen as a positive development, causing a powerful effect on the subject. 4, this has had the effect of the subject being spoken about libelously. And 5, true passion occurred, which was coupled with depravity, perhaps. It could be my research could be, or my report could be interpreted to indicate that. I'm not saying that it necessarily does, but that's what comes across anyway. Leading to being inflamed, lovesick and anxious. So there was like there was a physical reaction. And from all I can see, from what the women have said on the CBS report with Gayle King, that everything's fine, it's a valid relationship. Perhaps really it is, this is just me saying it, but the take I take on things is, R. Kelly's perhaps, he's got a past that he's got to deal with, but that doesn't really reflect on what's happening now. He's actually now found something, he's found the woman or the women, and it actually works. He's actually found something that works. And so it's almost like perhaps he's put his past behind him, and perhaps that's why he's getting a bit irritated, that people are going on about these things all the time. It's like he's got a wound that's trying to heal, and people keep trying to open it. So, I'm not saying I justify any of the things that, he's alleged to have done. But, obviously, people move on. So, in my interpretation, from what I can see, that seems to be what's happened. However, looking at the past report that I produced, it indicates that there's a cycle. In other words, there's a period where there's harmony between the subject and the person that he's enamored with, and then over time that changes into distancing and eventually the end of the relationship. So whether we're in the early stages and that's what we're seeing at the moment, I don't really know, based on my analysis. But at the moment, things seem stable, and I really do hope that he's actually found something that works for him. I really do. So that's all I have for you today. Like I said, the link to my report is in the description below. I'll also put a link to the Gayle Kelly interview with R. Kelly's women, I suppose you could call them. And as always, remember to like, share and subscribe, please do. And I look forward to seeing you in the next analysis, which hopefully should be a further instalment of the Jeffrey Epstein saga, with regards to court documents that have been released about a statement from Buckingham Palace with regards to Prince Andrew. So watch out for that. Okay, catch you later.